هذه الهيئة تكون هيئة مستقلة بالكامل حسب التجارب اللي أنا أعتقد حضرتك إذا ترجعين المختصر اللي ترجع عن المناطق الحرة راح تشوفين أنه الغالب للقطاع.
So in order to
sorry أستاذ عامر.
لا هو كان في عفوا تفضل عذرا التداخلات اللي قد
لا عادي ضرورية
لأنه احنا خضنا نقاش يختلف عن العرض اللي يصير يعني انا اللي اقترحه خليكم بالعرض النقاش منفصل لانه اصبحت اكو اراء اراء يعني
اوكي يعني
so in order to have control over our destiny, in order to really make sure that our vote becomes what we want, what Iraq wants to become, we have to have in place before we do anything an adequate development strategy. If we don't answer first for what, for who, how, and who is going to manage the free zone, most probably we are not going to be successful. Most probably. Because
دقيقة على الموضوع يقول احنا اذا ما نجاوب على هذه الاسئله فما في احتمال انه ننتج، اكو مخاطره.
So as we first have to stop, think thoroughly what we want our forward and the free zone to become, and then move forward. But first think and decide.
يقول لك احنا اول مره نفكر يعني كيف راح نبدا، شلون راح نبدا، الاسئله هاي نجاوب عليها حتى لا نعرض نفسنا للمخاطره، لان النجاح هنا مطلوب ما بالخيار
يعني هي الاسئله كيف ولمن
تفضل
يعني كيف ولمن
بعد شنو
ولماذا يعني ما الهدف من المشروع؟ كيف سينفذ المشروع؟
وهذا جدول اقتصادي يتحط على المواد
اساسيات الاقتصاد.
هذا خلي يكمل
جدول اقتصادي
صح.
So let's not forget that Iraq is in the arriving goal, that this is going to compete with a great number of other free zones. As a matter of fact, this is the region of the world where more free zones are. So apart from making sure that the free zone becomes what we want, our free zone has to clearly differentiate itself from the rest.
كان يسمى مقارنه يعني بالمناطق اللي موجوده في المنطقه، مثل ما تلاحظون على الخريطه الموانئ اسفنا انا تشوفون انه موزعه ما بين يعني جنوب العراق منطقه الكويت وقطر، الامارات العربيه المتحده، باكستان والهند وعمان، يعني هي منطقه الخليج العربي، هو رياض عربي جولف، منطقه الخليج العربي ومنطقه جنوب شرق اسيا.
There are more than 50 different free zones in this region. That's what we have to decide. That's exactly what we have to decide. And don't let someone from Spain, from London, from Washington decide for you. You have to decide what you want for the free zone to become. You can need the help of someone that supports you in that process. But at the end of the day, it has to be the Iraqi people that decide what they want Al-Faw and the free zone to become. And based on that, we can build up a successful free zone.
You spoke about the free zone or the ordinary port or both?
At the end of the day, it's very well connected. The port with the free zone with the port. And that's one of the tricky things. And for example, you have to decide if the free zone is going to help the port or the port is going to help the free zone. And depending on how you decide it, the companies that you have to attract to the free zone will be different. For example, if you want to, I want the free zone to become an industrial area, probably you will generate imports, manipulation of the cargo or the freight in the free zone, and really exports. So the free zone is helping the port. If you say no, we are going to focus in logistics, then you have imports and the logistics take the cargo out. So the free zone is taking advantage of the port. So there are thousands of different alternatives. What we can do is help you, show you the different alternatives, how others have done, and then decide jointly what we want are thought to become.
So in your previous two samples about Khalifa and Jabal,
Yeah.
so they behave as ordinary port and fuel or one or both?
Jebel Ali is, for example, Jebel Ali is the main transshipment hub in the Middle East, and Jafsa doesn't have any industrial activity except for assembly. So it's small industrial activity. So basically, Jafsa is focused on logistics. So Jafsa is taking advantage of the port. In Khalifa, in Al-Kisar. Kisar is heavy industry. Kisar is industrial park. It's a pure industrial park. And they are going to generate the cargo that is going to be handled in Khalifa. As a matter of fact, the main customers of Khalifa are going to be in Kisar, while the main customers of Jebel Ali are the maritime shipping lines. So it's completely different if you say. And both of them, they are going to be successful because they have clearly differentiated themselves. They have been investing and they have a clear strategy for the coming years, for the next 30 years.
طالما صار تساؤل ممكن
والله احنا لا عم نكمل ناخذ استراحه.
لا
خلي نكمل بس هو ناخذ استراحه.
بس اذا تسمحوا لي استاذ ممكن توضح للجماعه بس السؤال اللي يصير ما بينهم.
اعتقد اغلبهم عرفوا بالحكي
يعني خاطبوا ناس منطقه وخاطبوا ناس
اعتقد يعني عرفوا
بس بالاخير النتيجه مالت جبل علي الميناء يخدم المنطقه الميناء
لا انا اتكلم انا سالتني قلت له انت تتحدث انه اثنين هون
قال لك لازم واحد يخدم الله اختار اللي تريده يطلع فانت
فهو اعطى مثلين رائعات وهو جبل علي وخليفه.
جبل علي ايش فيه؟
قال هو
لا اسمحوا لي. جبل علي الميناء يخدم المنطقة. سوري عفوا. المنطقة تخدم الميناء. ليش؟ لأنه هي عملية تجارية. في حين أبو ظبي لأنه منطقة صناعية، فهي منطقة صناعية، الميناء يخدم منطقة صناعية لأنه تصدير. لكن أنا ما دام أستغل البريفليج أوف ذا توكينج. لا ما اختلفنا عنه. It's good that إنه هو Pablo he mentioned that it is a listing. This is a very nice thing. This is يعني حلم. لكن may I add in order maybe to enrich your presentation, Pablo, that you say that there are, for example, 50 or many types of cases. And at the end of the day, the government, Iraq has to decide what they exactly do. May I, maybe it is in your presentation or not, may I ask you or the consortium, also you may have your idea what to suggest in your consultancy service which are going to submit. Thank you.
If I tell you now,
No.
If I tell you now,
Yes.
what I think it will not be based on facts, because I don't have a knowledge in depth of the Iraqi market. Let me finish. All these things have to be done in a step by step. The problem many times in this region is that a sheikh or whatever has decided, no, let's do a port here. And why here? Khalas, here. No? And a port has been built. 10 years later, empty. No? And someone has decided, no, we have to develop a free zone here. Yalla, free zone. And at the end, as there was no strategy behind, it has been a total failure. So, in order to decide the strategy, we have to study what Iraq has, what Iraq can handle, what Iraq is prepared to manipulate, and what are the companies that will be suitable not only for Iraq, but for its extended internal, because Iraq can serve Syria, can serve Lebanon, and can serve Turkey. So based on that, based on analyzing in depth all those things, then we can decide what you can have. And I'm totally agree. It's your destiny. It's Alpha Port is going to be key for the economy of Iraq in the next 100 years. So what you decide now can shape what your economy can become in the next 100 years. So you better think thoroughly and without any hurry about what you want it to become.
When we will drink a tea, I will tell you a story.
هو يقول انه يجب ان تكون الرؤيه عراقيه. خاصه ماذا نحتاج من هذه المنطقه والاطمئنان. يعني هو يمكن شويه حكى علينا بس باللطف قال المنطقه العربيه عموما انه من تختار مثلا موقع للميناء ماكو دراسات او اعدادات او تصاميم. مجرد مثلا واحد قال نسوي هنا ليش هنا خلاص هاي عاجبني هنا نسوي هنا. والله كلهم يجب ان تكون لدينا رؤيه مستقبليه للمشروع حتى ممكن ان يكون عمرها 20 سنه او
Yeah, okay, Mr. Pablo, let's go.
I have if I extend myself, tell me, ya la familia So shall we do everything at the same time? Shall we build a huge port for 10 million TEUs, for 30 million tons of solid bulk, for cars, for whatever, for grain, for lots of things? And at the same time, shall we build a billion investment of free zone with huge land? Shall we do everything at the same time, or should we do it in a phased manner? Money now, it's not for free. Money, as a matter of fact, is extremely difficult to obtain. No? And now investors are looking very, very in depth to any investment that they can do. So what we suggest is that everything that you do in the port and in the free zone has to be in a phased manner. How? In order to ensure that it's economically and financially feasible every single time. Every single time you ask for more money, every single time you look for new investors, they have to have clear that they are going to recover their money, that they're going to obtain the profitability that they expect. Because if not, you're not going to obtain the finance. No? And at the same time, if you do it in a phased manner, it also helps you to build up the services, to build up the capacity of the region. Because, for example, if now you intend that Alfo serves Syria, Libya, Turkey, when you have no capabilities, when you have the expertise is very limited, everybody's going to say, hey, you're going to be much more expensive than the rest. So you have to build up step by step, little by little, always having in mind your existing capabilities, but at the same time, always being ambitious. Iraq has to be ambitious. Iraq is able not only to sell from Alfo its own market. We believe that, for example, there are excellent ideas for like the dry channel. The dry channel, why not? Why not? Why not try? But the dry channel is not going to be from one day to the other. The dry channel will be a project that will be developed in a phased manner and build up as long as we build up the capabilities of the port, as long as we build up the capabilities of the free zone. So here, for example, we are suggesting a phased manner where you first focus in your market. Let's make money, let's make business with Iraq. Let's strengthen Iraq. Let's strengthen our economy, let's strengthen our trade. Afterwards, and how do we do it? With the port and the free zone. But the port and the free zone that we need, not a huge free zone, not a huge port. Next step we can think about Lebanon and we can think about Syria. And why not Turkey? And in a third phase, why not expanding for the dry channel that was designed some years ago, where we can export, where we can distribute from Alfo to Europe. Why not? Let's be ambitious, but let's be ambitious being realistic at the same time, step by step. Okay? So, what shall we do now? These are great ideas, these are the good guidelines, but as you were mentioning before, in order to be able to decide, we first have to study. We first have to take a deep look in what the market needs, in what the market demands, and based on that, make decisions. Make decisions for the short term, make decisions for the medium term, and make decisions for the long term. So, if any big project has three main phases: planning, design, and construction, we are now in the planning phase. We are clearly in the planning. And as a matter of fact, yes, we have the idea of the free zone. Yes, everybody says that the free zone is a great idea, but we have no real plan, no real tools. No? So first of all, let's decide those tools. Let's decide the strategy, the development strategy. And in order to do that, let's first develop the first thing. Let's start from the floor. Feasibility study of what it should be done. And at the same time, with that feasibility, you can also try to analyze which should be the private-public participation of this project. What is going to be the role of the public, and what is going to be the role of the private. Because if you're looking for investors, for example, if you're looking for investors, nobody's going to invest if they don't see a business plan. If they don't see a serious strategy behind. If they don't see that you have thought about what you want. Because they were going to say, this is smoke, no? This is they have smoke some shisha and halas. No. With a serious detailed business plan, you can convince anybody. You can convince anybody. No? Once we have that, then once we have clear what we want, then we start to design the master plan. Then we